She is progressing through her 2 paths. Her presentation today is from the Motivational Strategies path, Level 1, Researching and Presenting. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic research methods, as well as present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Today, Connie will present information from the research she did on an important aspect of retirement planning, the choice of health coverage. She has provided you with a handout to follow along. Timer, please provide lights of 5, 6, and 7 minutes. Fellow Toastmasters, please welcome Connie with her speech, An Important Choice.
My apologies because I don't think I have enough handouts, and I would ask you to share if you can. Does your employer not provide benefits? Are you self-employed, freelance, or retiring soon? Fellow Toastmasters, the ads for health insurance are hard to miss. Sure Health, Cover Me, and many others offer choices that you may someday need. This summer, I fell into the very last of those categories, retiring. Losing the coverage that I had enjoyed for over 35 years, I was faced with what turned out to be a daunting choice, the task of researching the options and making a choice for something new. I've always been an advocate that choice is healthy, competition is healthy, and it generally provides all of us with better choices, better service, and better pricing as consumers. Who knew, though, that there were so many options with regard to healthcare? Now, options are great, but what I discovered is that healthcare options are very different, one company to another, and it's difficult to make true comparisons. Today, I'll share some of my findings in the hope that if you are faced with a similar choice, this will be useful information. The first step, before you even look at the options, is to determine the key features that you feel are important. If you currently have health coverage, look at what you use, what will be important to you to carry forward. From my perspective, core health became the first critical aspect. These are options you hope you never have to use, but they can be very expensive if you have to pay out of pocket. If you need an ambulance, special duty nursing, and all of those types of core services. You may have special health needs, or these may arise in the future. Things such as hearing aids, diabetic supplies, and the like could become critical for you financially. Do you make use of other health practitioners, such as chiropractors, massage, physio, acupuncture, podiatry, and the like? What about dental coverage, vision, and travel options? What is important to you as you determine your unique needs? With that list in hand, you can then look at the options offered by various companies. Again, if you currently have coverage, perhaps you're retiring or changing to a job without benefits, most of the companies I researched have a conversion option. Generally, with the conversion option, there are no health questions. You don't need to qualify. Especially if you have health issues that may prevent you from qualifying. This can be an important feature for you to have at least some coverage. But as I explored the conversion option, what it seemed to me is that the coverage limits were lower and the premiums were higher than for those plans where there were medical questions and you actually qualified. So putting aside the conversion option, let's take a look at the general coverage options being offered by various companies. Most have different levels of coverage, from basic to mid to high end. And pricing, of course, is determined on the options and the features that you select. Based on your list of needs that I told you as step 1, you'll be able to select the options, and the level that suits you. I did find that there was extensive information online. For many companies, it was easy to input your data and get a quote on the spot. There were cautions, though, given that the quote could vary because the underwriting process could cause the company to increase your premium based on risk or having exclusions, again, based on the health history that you provide. Online options aside, some of the information I found was quite confusing. Being the cynic that I am, I wondered if the confusion was designed to ensure that you answered some questions, albeit unintentionally incorrectly, giving the insurance company the option to deny claims in the future. And my apologies to my friends here from GMS for that. Now, being able to reach a real person over the phone is an important next step, at least to me, in clarifying your questions and uncertainties. There were huge differences in my experience with phone calls. Honestly, I thought that if I was having difficulty in the application process on the phone, what would the claims process be like? It didn't fill me with a great deal of comfort. Another consideration might be how important it is to have the opportunity to sit down face to face with someone. Here in Regina, we have options such as GMS, Blue Cross Cooperators, where you can meet a real person. There could be other companies with that option, and if so, I apologize for omitting them. I didn't encounter them. The bottom line is to make sure that your questions are adequately answered so that your decision is made with the best information possible, be that online, phone, or in person. Convenience features also come into play. A great option offered by some plans is a copay card where the company pays their share directly and you only pay the difference. It lessens your out-of-pocket expenses and eliminates the needs for claims and waiting for reimbursement. Coverage, I mentioned other practitioners, and coverage for those other practitioners really varied depending on the company and the tier of coverage that you were looking at it. Some had a lump sum that included all of those practitioners. Some had a level of coverage for each. Some required a doctor's note. So again, go back. What do you have? What do you need? What's important to you? Services such as dental and vision, are there restrictions with regard to the frequency of the service that you're offering? And ultimately, what is the cost? Also with respect to cost, how are future premium adjustments made? Are they based on the use that you have of the services, or are they based on the age tier that you fall in? Are there other factors? I've never been an advocate that we should purchase anything solely on cost, except maybe peanut butter. But as far as services goes, there's so much more to it than just the cost. It is really a very important consideration. If you've carefully considered your health needs and correlated those to the coverage options available, you should be able to make a comparison of one company to another. Fellow Toastmasters, the options and the combinations are many and varied. For each of you and your unique situations, there will be other factors to consider that I didn't mention in this very brief presentation. Choosing health coverage is a decision that requires careful thought and consideration. My regret in the retiring process is that I didn't realize it would be such a complex process. I didn't allow enough time to uncover the information I needed, and so I had several weeks with no coverage when I was in limbo. Still, for better or worse, I'm glad to have my decision made. If you are faced with making this decision, I hope that the information I've presented will be of value to you, and I wish you good luck in the future. In the words of yet another commercial, the last question is for you. Toastmasters, are you covered?